Picture a boy, so sick he sleeps sitting up, because lying down means he can't breathe. Asthma has him by the throat. Doctors tell his family he may not live long, and that a quiet, indoor life is his only chance. That boy was Theodore Roosevelt, and he became the most physically vital president America ever had. Here's how the turn happened. His father looked at him one day and told him plainly, "You have the mind, but you don't have the body. And without the body, the mind can't go as far as it should." Then he said the words that changed everything. "You must make your body." Young Theodore's answer was simple. He said, "I'll make my body." And he did. Not in a week. Not with a hack. He built a gym on the back porch and worked it daily. He learned to box. He hiked, rode, climbed, and rode. Year after year, the sickly boy built himself into a strong man. The asthma that ruled his childhood lost its grip. But the real forge came later, and it wasn't a gym. It was the outdoors. When Roosevelt was 25, his wife and his mother died on the same day in the same house. Most men would have drowned in that grief. He went west instead, to the Dakota Badlands. For roughly 2 years, he lived as a rancher. He drove cattle through blizzards. He hunted for his food. He wore out horses and hunted down thieves. He said later that the Badlands made him. Nature was the anvil his character was hammered on. Now ask yourself an honest question. When was the last time you were outside long enough to be changed by it? Not a walk to the car. Outside. Weather on your skin. Ground under your boots. Effort in your lungs. Because here's the number that should bother you. The average American now spends about 90% of his life indoors. Climate-controlled. Screen-lit. Chair-shaped. We've built a world with every comfort, and men have never felt weaker, softer, or more anxious inside it. Roosevelt saw this coming more than a century ago. As president, he preached what he called the strenuous life, the life of effort, of labor, of striving. He warned that easy comfort would rot a man and a nation from the inside. And he didn't just preach it. He boxed in the White House into his 40s until a blow in one of those sparring sessions cost him most of the sight in his left eye. He kept the injury quiet and kept training. He took brutal point-to-point hikes through Rock Creek Park, straight over every obstacle, and made ambassadors and generals keep up or fall behind. He rode 100 miles on horseback in a single day, in winter, to prove the fitness standard he'd set for his officers was fair. Think about that for a second. The most powerful man in the country, with every excuse to go soft, kept choosing the hard thing daily, on purpose. He knew something we've forgotten. Vitality doesn't survive on its own. It has to be renewed, and the renewal has a price. And the price is sweat. And then he did something bigger than himself. He used his presidency to protect roughly 230 million acres of wild America. National forests, national parks, national monuments. Why? Because he believed every man needs somewhere wild to test himself. He wasn't saving scenery. He was saving the forge. So what does this mean for you? It means the outdoors is equipment, and you're leaving it in the box. The gym builds muscle, and lift you should. But the outdoors builds something the gym can't reach. Cold that doesn't care about your schedule. Hills that don't flatten because you're tired. Discomfort you can't skip with a remote. That's where nerve gets built. That's where a man finds out what he's carrying. Science has caught up to what Roosevelt knew in his bones. Time outside lowers stress and clears the head. Hard effort in rough country builds a body that sitting never will. But you don't need a study. You already know how you feel after a real day outside. Tired in the body, quiet in the mind. Solid. So here's the prescription, and it costs nothing. Get outside this week and do something strenuous. Hike the trail that scares your calves. Run in the cold you've been avoiding. Swim the lake. Split the wood. Take your son, if you have one, because he's watching how you treat comfort. Start small if you have to, but start. 1 hour outside a day. 1 hard outing a week. 1 trip a year that makes your friends say, "That sounds miserable." Those are the days you'll remember. Nobody looks back on a life of climate control with pride. A sick boy made his body, and the body carried the mind to the White House. The forge is still out there, past your front door, free of charge. The strenuous life isn't a punishment. It's the payment for becoming who you could be. Go pay it.